What is up here, YouTube? Jigsaw0097 here today. Sorry, it has been a long time since I've made a video. I've been crazy busy lately, just with other things in my life. And so I just haven't really had a time to make any like Eagles videos or anything like that for you. And today I'm going to actually be making a movie review because I just barely saw Wonder Woman, guys, and I actually just got to talk about this because it was that good of a movie. And I'm very surprised and also very pleased to see that DC has finally made a good DC EU movie. Now keep in mind, these are the movies that have come out after the Christopher Nolan Batman series where they start. So we started with Man of Steel, which honestly I thought Man of Steel was a good movie, but it did have problems. Then we had Batman v Superman, which I thought was absolutely atrocious. And then, believe it or not, even worse for me was Suicide Squad, which I just found pretty much nothing to like in that movie other than the Harley Quinn character. That was pretty much it. But I'm pleased to say, guys, that Wonder Woman has come out, and this movie is freaking amazing, I gotta say. Like, not since like Captain America Winter Soldier have I seen a movie that is this well constructed in the superhero genre. They just basically had a really good vision of what they were trying to make with this movie, and it shows. This movie had a point. It had a reason to exist other than just setting up some kind of superhero universe or just having loads of CG action for no apparent reason. Like, this movie had a message to convey, characters to develop, and it did phenomenally, guys. So yeah, I think that this is a great movie to go see, and I just kind of want to... I didn't know anything about Wonder Woman either. That's the crazy thing. I never was a big DC fan. I don't know if I've talked about that on here. I've always been more of a Marvel guy, and this is like predating the MCU or anything like that. I've just always liked Marvel more. Spider-Man's my favorite hero, so that just fit perfectly. But this movie actually made me kind of really care about Wonder Woman in a way that I never thought I would about this kind of a hero, because Wonder Woman just was a hero that I just never cared about. She just never seemed interesting to me because they'd never really done anything with her other than in the comics. If you hadn't read the comics, you didn't really know how awesome she was. And this movie kind of sets up like all the backstory. You learn, similar to like how Thor was, you learn about how they worship the Greek gods. So Thor was all about Norse mythology. This is about Greek mythology. And it was really interesting to see how this, like, in this island of just like women, they basically, there was this huge conflict that happened with Ares, the god of war, a long time ago. And all the men were destroyed is what I got out of it, and then it just left this island of women. They basically dominated everything, and they took over this island. And Zeus actually put this like shroud around the island and hid this island from the rest of the world. So these women live in complete solitude. They basically are just preparing themselves for the return of Ares, and so they train all the time. And spoiler alerts here, what we don't know about Diana, which is Wonder Woman, is that she actually is the son, or not the son, the daughter of Zeus. And so she's like naturally more awesome than the rest of the women on this island. And you can tell that the mother, which is played by Connie Nelson, if you guys have seen Gladiator, that's who she is. She plays the Emperor's, Joaquin Phoenix's character's sister in that movie, and she did an amazing job as the mother, I thought. And the mother knows what's going on here because Robin Wright, I think, is the actress's name, and I forget the character's name. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm a total novice with Wonder Woman here, but the Robin Wright character wants to train Diana, which is Wonder Woman, to basically, like the rest of the women, to basically be able to defend if Ares ever comes back. And the mother does not want this to happen. And you wonder why. You're like, why is she so apprehensive about this? And you learn later that basically Wonder Woman is a god. She's basically like Thor, guys. That's what I got out of this, is if DC has a Thor character, that is what Wonder Woman is. And so they didn't want to train her because they didn't want her to find out her true power. But naturally, they still train her, and she does find out a lot about her power, and she learns about the outside world because Chris Pine's character, he's a World War I pilot. He crashes he basically is just flying, and he goes into the veil of this island because you can't see the island, but if you go past the veil, you can see it. So it's like hidden from reality, but it's still there. It's still there. You can go there. And so Chris Pine's escaping with some like secret plans, and I won't go too much into spoilers on this. I'm kind of just giving the premise of the movie here. And he crashes, and basically this sets off a chain of events that makes Diana want to leave the island. She wants to learn more. She's tired of standing by and waiting for Ares to show up. She wants to like take the fight out to the outside world. She doesn't want to just stay on this island forever. And that kind of sets up the plot here. And it's just very good character development, guys. I was surprised. Like, they did a lot of things similar to what Thor did with the Diana character, where she goes to the real world and she's kind of like naive. Where she kind of like thinks that things operate the way that they did on the island, but they don't. And so there's some really funny moments in there, guys. This is the first DC movie that I felt was finally like lighthearted. It wasn't always just like serious and dark and depressing. Like, that was Batman v Superman's biggest fault, is they took no time to have fun with it at all. Batman was always like serious, and when he did make jokes, it wasn't even funny. And then they made Superman like an emo kid, which Superman, they really have opportunities to make Superman funny, and they just never did. And it's really a shame, because I think Henry Cavill is a great Superman. Like I said, I did like Man of Steel. I found a lot of things to like in that movie. And I just didn't like that one. But with Wonder Woman, it seems like they really cared about what they were doing. And it's just refreshing to see that DC is finally maybe learning from Marvel, because that's what Marvel does a lot. They take characters like Ant-Man that I never really cared about, and then they make movies about them. Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, and then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, these guys are pretty cool, actually. So yeah, they did it with Wonder Woman, guys. I just wanted to kind of make this video to give my opinions on that. Kind of give you a premise here without going too much into spoilers. There's a little bit of spoilers that I feel like I needed to talk about. But yeah, guys, if you're on the fence about this movie, I would say go see it. I know a lot of people are getting what I like to call, myself as well, superhero fatigue nowadays, because there's just so many superhero movies being made Transformer style, where they're just like made to make money. They don't really care about story or characters. Like, other than Marvel, I think like every other studio is just kind of like going through the motions with superhero movies, and it's kind of getting old. I mean, you don't always get Deadpool type movies where they actually follow the comic books. But yeah, Wonder Woman, it's probably the best superhero movie I've seen in a long time, guys. Like, since like Winter Soldier, like I said, Captain America Winter Soldier was the last really great one I saw before this, and I did really like Civil War. I just felt that like Winter Soldier was like a 10 out of 10, like it just nailed everything. I would probably give Wonder Woman like a 9 out of 10, just because there is some, like, the villains can be a little bit weak and comic booky at times is what I called it, but I easily can forgive a lot of that, because I feel like this movie is more about just Diana going into the world and like figuring out what's going on here. You didn't really need a villain, like a traditional villain, because this movie is more about like the journey, I guess is what you call it. It's kind of like the first Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. There's not really like a real villain there. There is like Sauron, but you know, the point of that movie is more about the journey of like getting the ring to Mordor and like starting that quest. And that's kind of what they did here with Wonder Woman, and I'm excited to see what they do in the future. So yeah, guys, like I said, I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. I would highly recommend that you go watch this. It's my second favorite movie of the year after Alien Covenant, so I think they just really nailed it. But anyway, guys, just wanted to make that video for you. What did you guys think about Wonder Woman? Are you guys getting tired of superhero movies, or maybe did this one help you get excited for superhero movies? Whatever you think, leave your comments down below. And just so you guys know, I probably will be making a video review of Spider-Man Homecoming that comes out next month, just because, like I said, I am a huge Spider-Man fan and I'm very excited for that movie now. So yeah, I will make another video about that and look forward to more on my channel, guys. As always, I want to thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, go ahead and subscribe, hit that like or dislike button, and thank you so much for watching, guys.